Bangladesh, but it's 20 years since I worked there the last time. So it's very interesting to see what kind of development that's gone on from that time. At least one of the things I realized this morning is there's no water. The last time I was here, everything was flooded, so this is a really nice surprise. As Richard said, I'm the Vice Director and Chief Librarian at the Nordic Institute of Asian Studies. We are a very strange organization, institution. We consist of representations from all the 5 Nordic countries. We coordinate and network all the Asian research that's going on in the Nordic countries. And I have to say, for those of you who might not be so familiar with the Nordic countries, that we together is less than 20 million people. So we are not a very big part of the world, but we try to pride ourselves back to being academic, being research-oriented, and doing quite a lot of research on the whole Asian region. At NIAS, we are a small setup. We are around 25 researchers, PhD students, postdocs, and a rather large group of people working with disseminating information from the Nordic countries. So we have one of the largest libraries in Europe on Asia. We have scholarships for visiting our library, using the library for studies. But we also, a long time ago, moved the library into the virtual world and have created what we call a virtual library and information center that now gives access to all kinds of information on Asia produced in the Nordic countries. For those of you who have a need of information on what's going on in Europe or in the Nordic countries, our Asia portal is something very interesting. And I will have my assistant here. Let's show the portal. We at NIAS encourage everybody actually to be part of what we have in different networks. We try to create a social network system where you can sign up and be in contact with Nordic researchers, but also researchers from other Asian countries. And we have several kinds of networks that you can sign up for, or you can just be part of it if you should have an interest in this. No, you have to go to the Asia portal.
Asia portal,
yeah. This is just the library. The Asia portal is one of the things that we actually use as a kind of a gateway to research material. We do focus on blogging. Most of the researchers we have in our network blogs regularly, and we have a scientific blog, and we give information on ongoing events and actually new reports. We do a lot of work on to encourage open access publishing, to make sure that the research that is going on actually also is available and being used by non-Nordic researchers. But even in the Nordic countries, open access is a very important source of material today. Well, in the light of how expensive access to different databases has becoming, open access gets more and more important for researchers to get reliable information. And we just shows you how the blog system works here. So we do not blog on a day-to-day basis. We're not a political or news-oriented. We blog on scientific issues. And it's a different way for researchers to look at how we blog. But often it's important for policymakers, for journalists, for people in the government to have access to reliable academic background material. And that's not news-oriented. So our blog is very, very popular, and we have more than 5,000 hits on the blog every day. So it's being used as an example of how you can actually use blogging, that we will also talk about a little bit later. But if anybody have any questions, wants eventually to sign up and be part of our networks, I'm here for the next 2 days and would like to talk to you. Also, if anybody would like to know more about the services we have, possibilities for scholarships, guest researcher positions, media scholarships for stays in Denmark, I'm available for that. Okay. Thank you.
if you want to...
I work for the International Institute of Social Studies in The Hague in the Netherlands. And the ISS, as we call our institute, is one of the initiative takers of this event, and also of the Focus initiative that this event is part of. ISS was actually founded in 1952 as part of the policy of the Dutch government to establish international education, particularly for people from what we then called underdeveloped countries, and we currently call the Global South. Since then, we've had about 10,000 people, or 11,000 already, who graduated in a master's or PhD degree from our institute. And there are a few people of our alumni present today in this event. And yesterday evening we welcomed about 30 plus of them here at an alumni gathering. The institute is based in The Hague, and we are part of the Erasmus University in Rotterdam. This was very important for us. It happened last year, already almost 2 years ago in 2009, because until then we were a separate institute. Although we had a legal recognition in the Netherlands, people who got a diploma from our institute, who graduated as a master or got a PhD degree, had quite some difficulty explaining what this funny institute, this small institute in the Netherlands was all about. And now we have a true university recognition of our diploma, which helps our students to further their careers. Actually, we do have some very interesting careers around the globe. People who studied at ISS and now have become the Prime Minister of their country, leading positions in ministries and NGOs around the globe. So studying at ISS really brings something to people. I'm not going to elaborate too much on what ISS is. We have a website, and the website is fairly heavily used. It's visited many times a day, and we got a lot of applications for our study programs. Mind you that each year we got about 2,500 to 3,000 applications, and we can only host 200 students per year. So many of them will have to seek other opportunities, and we have a very tough system for people to enter the ISS. At ISS we use the social media in a very extensive way in order to stay in touch with our alumni. We consider our alumni network, which is a global network of about 8,000 to 9,000 people, very interesting for our connections around the world. And so we have created a Facebook group for our alumni, and also a LinkedIn page and environment. And we see that many people are using those social media to stay in touch with our institute, to learn about our refresher courses or our diploma courses or our other activities, but also and mainly to stay in touch with each other. Being part of Facebook in the setup that we created allows you, for instance, to contact people in the region, not necessarily in your own country, but for instance in the Southeastern Asia region. But it also allows you to contact people who you find out via Facebook or LinkedIn, who live across the street. That happens all the time with those social media too. So we encourage our students to use social sites such as Facebook, LinkedIn and Twittering, and we use them ourselves. We started our Twitter account almost a half year ago now, although we first experimented a little bit with it, and we see a heavy increase of for instance, the downloading of our working paper series. We now publish our working paper series. We have 2 series, not only on our repository, but also via Twitter. And immediately after we send out the tweet, like within an hour, we can see people downloading the working papers from our repository. So that's a very positive effect of the social media. Well, as Anja said, I'll be around and hopefully facilitating the workshops with you the coming 2 days. If there's any question, please feel free to ask and discuss with me, and I hope you enjoy and have a good workshop here today and tomorrow.